The Dodgers just keep on winning. Major League Baseball. Dodgers, their 10th straight win for LA. On Sunday, they defeated the Rockies 12-6. Cody Bellinger did it again.
1-0. Fly ball to right. The coup de grace. A two-run home run for Bellinger. His second of the day. His 24th of the year. The Dodgers are doing everything right. It's 11-6.
Sound courtesy KLAC. Bellinger finished with 4 RBI in the victory. Elsewhere on Sunday in Major League Baseball, among the finals, the Brewers beat the Braves 7-0. Wade Davies, 7 innings pitched for the win. Keon Broxton, a home run and 3 RBI. Blue Jays' Jose Bautista hit his 13th homer, had 4 RBI in the 8-2 win over Kansas City. Twins swept Cleveland in the AL Central battle, a 4-0 win on Sunday. Irvin Santana picks up his 10th win on the mound. Orioles got by the Rays 8-5. A's over the White Sox 5-3. Arizona beat Philadelphia 2-1 in 11 innings. Daniel Descalso with a game-winning RBI hit. Rangers were up 7-0 on the Yankees early in that game. They ended up holding on to defeat New York 7-6. George Springer, his 22nd home run, and beat the Mariners 8-2. Marlins 4-2 win over the Cubs. Giancarlo Stanton hit his 20th home run in that game. For all the Major League Baseball finals, go to NBCSports.com. A massive day on the PGA Tour Travelers Championship. Jordan Spieth holed out from the bunker, and he wins on the first sudden death hole, beating Daniel Berger. This after Spieth and Berger finished at 12 under par through 72 holes. It's Spieth's 10th PGA Tour win. Charlie Hoffman and Danny Lee tied for third at 10 under par. I'm Dave Denholm. This is NBC Sports Radio and the NBC Sports Radio mobile app.
This is KCAA.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply, and of course the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to GetTheTea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to GetTheTea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic. And very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Again, GetTheTea.com.
E-Digits. Lock them in for more information, recreation, and guaranteed fun. KCAA.
Good evening. Your music team, CNBC. Principal sponsor, the U.S. Army. www.goarmy.com. And this is our 2017 California Law Enforcement event at a going-away party for DJ Paranoid. I'm Fred Plumley. Tonight we're featuring DJ Vega, DJ Paranoid, and our special guest is Sheriff Stan Schniff, Sheriff Coroner for Riverside County Sheriff's Department, the second largest sheriff's department in the state of California. Get ready. We've got quite a show planned for you tonight. All right, get ready. The party has just begun. Your music team, proud to have been awarded #1 radio show in North America by International Dance Music Magazine. Your music team, CNBC. And it's my honor to have special guest Sheriff Stan Schniff, Riverside County Sheriff Department. We'll be talking to him in just a couple minutes. We've definitely got the music for you. NBC Radio, your music team. (9:11) Pacific time right here in North America. Our principal sponsor, the U.S. Army, www.goarmy.com, with over 150 different jobs and careers available in the regular Army and over 120 careers in the Army Reserve. check it out, www.goarmy.com. Your music team, CNBC 2017 California Law Enforcement event. And tonight, our special guest, Stan Sniff, Sheriff Coroner, Riverside County Sheriff's Department. And good evening, Sheriff Stan Smith. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you.
All right. It's definitely our pleasure, and always look forward to having you as a special guest on the show for quite a while. Congratulations. Maybe you could tell all our listeners and viewers a little bit about the Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Well, sheriff's departments in California by law are required to handle a number of different areas. Similar to a police department, but in many ways very, very different. Obviously, we do a patrol function, and by law, we end up responding to crimes in the unincorporated area. In Riverside County, which is about 7,300 square miles, about 400,000 population, that we end up handling crime alongside the Highway Patrol, which handles the traffic matters. In our cities, 28 of them in Riverside County, we actually do contract policing for 17 of the 28. But the responsibility of a county sheriff in California also includes running a jail system that serves everybody, and also securing some 90 courtrooms across Riverside County. And then, as you mentioned in the introduction, I'm also the coroner public administrator.
Outstanding. And, one of the things that I looked up before you came on, I found out that the budget that you have for your department is like $700 million a year. It's a large amount. It
is a lot of money, and it's largely due to the number of folks that we have, about 4,000 full-time employees, which is most of the budget.
Well, you are the sheriff of the second largest sheriff's department in California, correct?
Yeah, and we've been slipping a little bit over the last year because we've had to take a reduction in force due to the lack of funding. So we've attrited several hundred positions over the last year, and we may, depending on the budget difficulties and the constraints that the county's under, have to attrit some more. Hope not, but we slipped a little bit under, so we're probably about the third at this time.
Okay, well, still definitely remarkable, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. Also, what I found interesting is you provide policing for a whole lot of cities. I think it's about 17. I know you do in Moreno Valley. That's where I live. Yeah,
17 of the 28 cities that make up Riverside County today contract. We do that at no profit, no margin. It's just our direct and indirect costs that we charge back to the community. So it's actually, as expensive as it is, it's a heck of a deal. But it's about 1 million population. So when you take that 1 million population in those 17 cities that we do policing services for and add it to the 400,000, about 1.4 million are directly policed by the sheriff out of the 2.4 that make up Riverside County today.
It's also interesting that your county is a very large county.
It is about 7,300 square miles, which is, for your listeners, that's roughly the size of the state of New Jersey. It's the 10th most populous county anywhere in the United States.
Wow, congratulations. And I know you have a lot of high-tech, initiatives. Maybe you'd like to share that with some of our listeners and viewers.
Well, both counties, San Bernardino and Riverside County, work jointly on a variety of high-tech areas. So whether it's iris scans, where we can identify people by iris scans, obviously fingerprints have been around a long time, and DNA, and even photo recognition are all advanced technology instruments that are actually deployed all the way down to the patrol officer level for all the cities that make up the Inland Empire, and of course both sheriff's departments.
Outstanding. Paranoids, do you have any questions for Sheriff Stan Sniff?
I know, like, a lot of the times, like, art festivals. And I know that there's been a couple concerns as of past years. So how do you feel like Riverside County in particular will help prevent any of these incidences from happening?
Well, our department has a lot of experience working with large groups, whether it's the president visiting out in the Kcaa Valley, some of the other emergencies that we dealt with, but certainly Kcaa Fest, Stagecoach, all those items occur in Riverside County. And we're actually very, very well skilled. And one of the things that's important for your listeners, especially these days when they're talking about putting up walls and silos between federal law enforcement and state and our local police and sheriffs, is we have a lot of teams and task forces where we actually share information and work very closely together. So to answer your question directly, that service or that effort of working jointly with our law enforcement partners at all different levels actually is a protective shield for everybody that comes to an event or lives in Riverside County or San Bernardino for that matter.
Well, very good. What would you like to share with all our listeners and viewers? A lot of our listeners are, 16 to 35. So what would you like to point out to our listeners and viewers, Sheriff Smith?
Well, although our hiring has slowed a lot, we are still hiring. As I mentioned at the outset, we're looking at a reduction in force that we're taking out of those that are retiring and moving on to other assignments in other agencies. And so it's helped us in the short term, but in the long term, we're going to be hiring quite a bit. In fact, I've got to hire some 400 positions over the next few years for the new jail that's being built in Indio. So for the young men and women out there that in their 20s, it's a great opportunity whether they want to serve as a civilian or a correctional deputy or a sworn deputy sheriff with peace officer powers. A great opportunity to look into our department and come on board and have a great career serving your communities.
Well, Stan, you have a lot of different careers available too, right?
Yeah, we have probably 60 different skill specialties within all those areas. So whether there's a wide variety of civilian specialties that we're interested in, forensics techs, all dispatchers, all sorts of run the gamut in the law enforcement field. About half our department actually is civilian, and we have a lot of specialized positions, just like the military has a number of different MOSs, so to speak. It's literally a team of teams. So whether you're interested in carrying a firearm and having arrest powers as a California peace officer, or serving as a correctional deputy in our 5 correctional facilities, or in those many different civilian specialties, we've got a place for you, and we need young men and women that are really bright, that want to contribute to the safety of their communities.
Nice. And I know for a lot of people, what would you say are some of the requirements that you guys are looking for? Because I know in particular, sometimes people are very interested, but they don't know what you guys require from them as far as schooling goes or certifications, just to kind of get that step ahead.
Yeah, it varies. To be a California peace officer, you have to be at least 21 for our agency and most agencies in California. We run our own training center, which trains not only the local law enforcement police agencies like Riverside and Murrieta and Corona, all the way out to the Colorado River. And even outside the county, the police departments will send entry-level people through our 6-month program that we conduct full-time at the Ben Clark Training Center just outside of Riverside. For the sworn officers, we typically are hiring in the age 26, 27, 28. Many of them are entering law enforcement workforce with us anyway, with 4-year college degrees. They've been away from home. Many of them, about 1 in 5, have served in the United States military, so they've been away from home, had a job, in many cases had responsibilities as non-commissioned officers or perhaps commissioned or warrant officers. We kind of look for that totality of a package where they're going to be going in and dealing with adult problem solving. So you got to have somebody that's got some kind of empathy and experience in that arena. For the Correctional Deputy Series, all you have to do is be 18 years of age. They are not armed, and they don't have peace officer powers other than limited inside the correctional facilities, but it's also a great career. Many of them make it as a stepping stone to go on to be a sworn officer. And then for the civilian workforce and all those different specialties that I alluded to, it's just 18 years of age. We on-the-job train you on that. The correctional deputy one runs about 3 months in training. And as I indicated earlier, the sworn peace officer training in California is 6 months long. So it's a very lengthy, very intense program. Our training center is one of 40 throughout the state of California that trains entry-level peace officers.
Great information, Stan, and looks like an incredible career. I think if you don't mind, maybe we can get to some music with DJ Vega and then talk to you in another 15 minutes or so. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sheriff Stan Sniff, Sheriff of Riverside County. And now we're going to start with DJ Vega live in the mix. This is your music team, NBC. I'm Fred Plumley. Get ready. We've got the party for you tonight.
It's a house party. It's a house party. Party. It's a house party. Party. Hey. It's a house party. Party. Hey. It's a house party. Party. It's a house party.
All right, DJ Vega live in the mix, your music team. What a show tonight.
It's a house party.
.25 Pacific time. And want to mention DJ Vega, one of the West Top DJs, resident DJ at Avalon Hollywood, one of the top 50 nightclubs in the world, Flyway Pomona, and also performs at premier nightclubs like Keto C, Sutra, Sevilla, Create, Supper Club Hollywood, and many others. DJ Vega live and in the mix.
And I came to jump on his homie quarter. Just y'all is the one and only kid.
All right, we'd like to thank our principal sponsor, the U.S. Army. The United States Army is a key component of the U.S. Armed Forces, made up of the best trained, most dedicated, most respected soldiers in the world, protecting Americans' freedoms at home and abroad, securing our homeland, and defending democracy worldwide. With expert training and one of over 150 different jobs for soldiers on active duty and over 120 in the Army Reserve, there's definitely no limit to the opportunities in the Army. From the arts to the sciences, intelligence to combat, computers to helicopters, engineering to law, there's no limit to what you can learn and achieve. The U.S. Army. www.goarmy.com. Your music team 2017 California Law Enforcement event at Going Away Party for DJ Paranoid. I'm Fred Plumley. Tonight, our special guest is Sheriff Stan Stiff, Riverside County Sheriff and Coroner. What an exciting night. Get ready. We've got some great music. And we'll be talking with Sheriff Smith in just a couple minutes. All right, DJ Kcaa checking in from his studio in Flagstaff, Arizona. Pretty hot out there, but he will be back next week. Going to be a special show featuring DJ Kcaa and also DJ Pandemonium. But tonight we've got DJ Vega and DJ Paranoid. This is her last time playing on the show for a while. How you doing, Paranoid?
I'm doing good tonight. It's kind of a bittersweet night for me. I actually just got back from Georgia over the weekend. My husband graduated. As you guys know, it's DJ Bass Junk, who's also on the show. He's in the Army, and just want to say congratulations to him for graduating. But kind of bittersweet that we have to move out of California. So this is kind of our last show. I thought he was going to come back out with me, but they're keeping him out there. So Army life, man.
You know, by the way, I want to mention something. We have right here with us a retired colonel in the U.S. Army, had served in the Army for 30 years, right? So why don't you tell us about that, Sheriff Stan Stiff?
Hi, Actually, started out as a commissioned officer before I went into law enforcement. So after spending a couple of years on active duty, I spent the bulk of it in the reserves. At the same time, I was climbing up through ranks on the police department, then eventually went to the sheriff's department. And so I have a lot of respect for everybody that serves their country, and I've had the unique opportunity of wearing not only the uniform of my country as an Army armor officer, but also as a city police officer, the LAPD Blue, and in tan and green of the Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Outstanding. Of course, the U.S. Army is our principal sponsor, and I commend you all those years of service. Remarkable.
I had a wonderful time and met a lot of really wonderful people and had a lot of great training experiences. And even though a lot of the equipment and uniforms that we wore from basically 1973 to 2003 when I was retired are a little bit antique, and some of the equipment is in museums like Shereko Summit and over at March Field, so that makes me feel quite a bit older at this point.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't look old, Stan, and congratulations. You know, let's talk about your department, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. You know, and I don't think people know just how many divisions you have and all the complexity. Like, you have 5 correctional facilities, correct?
Right. We have 5 correctional facilities. One of them is in the process of being replaced. That's the jail that is being built at a cost of $330 million out near in Indio, and that'll replace the small little Indio jail and become the biggest jail in Riverside County. So we also have 10 patrol facilities, and then also a number of different areas where we end up taking care of the 90 courtrooms spread across Riverside County. 2 morgue operations, one over in Paris and one over in the city of Indio.
Okay, so did I hear that right? The jail's going to cost $330 million?
The jail already has cost $330 million, and that building is coming out of the ground as we speak. It's the biggest building, I think, in the city of Indio, and it will be ready in the summer of 2018, whether we're ready for the staffing or not.
Wow. Well, go ahead, Paranoise. We both said wow, so.
I know, that's a lot. That's intense.
We desperately need it because Riverside County, as most of your listeners that are familiar with the Inland Empire, watched San Bernardino Riverside explode in population over the last couple of decades. And so it certainly helped housing values and everything else that increased the values of property that people own. But unfortunately, a lot of the infrastructure, parks and lights and streets, and certainly jail capacity dragged quite a bit in Riverside County. So we're playing catch-up, and unfortunately, after realignment took effect in the state here, AB 109 realignment in 2011, we've had to release a lot of people prematurely because as big as our jail system is, it's about 1/2 the size of San Bernardino County and way too small. So unfortunately, the federal courts have made me the Solomon, so to speak, that has to make decisions on who's going to be tossed out of jail early. And your listeners are probably from Riverside County and are well aware that we've had to release some 40,000 just in the last few years since that 2011 law took effect. Not good for any of our communities, and it erodes a lot of the safety net. So it is desperately important that that new jail come online in the summer of 2018.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds amazing. And I'm pretty sure that's going to open up a lot of jobs for a lot of people as well, especially, you know, like I said, like I've had a lot of friends who are very interested in law enforcement, and, you know, this is a good opportunity for everybody, especially those who are listening, those who are still in high school considering, you know, their employment as far as law enforcement if they're ever interested. So how would they get in contact with anybody that's hiring for that, to get the process going for it?
Yeah, you can go to our website anytime, and that's just www.joinrsd.org, or you can contact our website, the Riverside Sheriff's Department, riversidesheriff.org, and go to the personnel recruiting. But we're looking for a lot of, usually it's very hard to get into law enforcement, and we actually hire about 1 out of 100 applicants, and that's pretty standard in California. Everybody wants, they're very high-paying jobs, everybody wants those jobs, but unfortunately very few actually can qualify. So we encourage a lot of folks to do that. For a deputy sheriff, in case your listeners are not aware, that job in 5 or 6 years at top step for a deputy sheriff, this is one that operates a patrol car, If they've got a 4-year college degree and they join in 5 or 6 years, they will top out at $103,000 a year, not including overtime, which typically is $15,000 or $20,000 on top, or the benefits, which are on top of that. So they're very well-paying jobs. Very few can qualify, but we certainly encourage all your listeners to try us out and join our great agency.
Well, you know, I'm actually surprised. I didn't know, like a lot of the listeners, I wasn't aware that, you know, your deputies got paid that well.
Well, if you live in Moreno Valley, you know the contract costs have gone up quite a bit. Those are all based on labor costs. But we're very competitive and, in fact, are higher than in some of the agencies. But it's a very specialized niche, so as soon as the pay and benefits is better than another agency, a lot of these young men and women will change agencies, so we have to stay very competitive. And fortunately, we've had a great board of supervisors that's been very, very good as far as taking care of our men and women.
Interesting. So let's talk a little bit, too, about some of the different job offerings. You know, of course, everybody wants to be a sworn deputy, but there's a lot of different things that you could do in your department. It's kind of like the Army, right?
It is, just like Army MOSs or other military MOSs or specialties. We also have, as I indicated earlier in our conversation, there's some 60 different specialized jobs and job classifications within the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. And by the way, we also appreciate those that have already given service to their community and retired to come back as volunteers. In addition to the little less than 4,000 full-time employees, we also have about 1,600 volunteers all across Riverside County. Some of them have retired and gone on. Some of them are young kids that join our Explorer programs. But the whole gamut in between you can give back to your community, and that's actually helped us a great deal throughout all our communities.
That sounds like a great opportunity. So let's say that somebody like, you know, our listeners or even one of us wanted to volunteer. How would we do that?
Just contact any of our stations or bureaus, or you can go to those websites that I talked to, even the www.joinrsd.org, any of them, or contact one of our local facilities if you live nearby. And they've got a number of different job specialties. Sometimes they're office, sometimes they're people that help out with ministering in our jails or counseling. A whole bunch of different volunteers, Citizens on Patrol, Explorer programs, the whole gamut.
That sounds good. And just to kind of recap, like I know there's kind of a lot of stigma about the like bad cop kind of thing, but I just want to reiterate, you know, just like with anything else, like you're always going to have bad people, you're going to have good people. So I just want the listeners to know out there, you know, like not all cops are bad cops. I've had a lot of great experiences with cops as well, you know, helping me out, and especially being in the Army as well, seeing that side of things, like you really have to come to understand. So how does your department differ from other departments that have that kind of stigma with it? Like how do you guys make sure that your training is up to par, I guess you could say? Well,
you've touched upon something that's been very, very tough, particularly because of the rather coarse national discourse that's been going on the last couple of years. So it really takes a lot of guts for young men and women today to put on that shiny badge. But we do hold them to that same standard that you indicated. We do a very good vetting program, and usually it takes even at high speed 2, 3, 4 months for somebody to go through the background investigation, sometimes substantially longer. So we check everything about that individual, but it's still a little bit of luck of the draw some days, and we still have a long probation period, and we'll end up removing those that come into our midst, even if they get past that screening, that don't belong there. And of course, we investigate every complaint about wrongdoing, and every once in a while those ring true. Fortunately, in our agency, we have not had a lot of those, but it's almost that price of eternal vigilance to keep an eye on making sure that the young men and women that are serving in our communities are doing it for the right reason.
Well, you know, I want to mention one thing because, I don't think, Paranoids, that you're aware, but in Riverside County, Sheriff Stan Schniff is highly regarded by almost everyone. So I want to commend you on that. I was chief officer from Moreno Valley Aces Races, and everyone I know looks up to the incredible job that you've done. So congratulations, Sheriff.
Well, I've been gifted by a very great team, and so not only do we have a great and very small and compact senior executive team that help run the day-to-day operations. The sheriff in California is an elected officer, a constitutional officer, so I don't work directly for the Board of Supervisors. I work for all the public, and so I myself spend about almost all my time out in the community with all 2.4 million folks talking and meeting and listening, but also carrying some of the great arguments about what's going on in our California criminal justice system. But I'm joined by about a dozen great executives for those jail specialties, patrol specialties, coroner specialties, court security, and civil service specialties. And they do a great job in and out. But beyond that, just like the military, we're paramilitary, most law enforcement is. So the captains and lieutenants and sergeants and detectives, all part of a team of teams, as I indicated earlier, that do a great job to make us the great agents that we are at all different levels.
Well, definitely want to congratulate you. And if you don't mind, I think maybe have you kind of wrap it up. And then if it's okay, we'll talk to you in another 10 or 15 minutes and have DJ Vega mix up a few songs for us.
Great. Well, it's always a great pleasure to represent the men and women of the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. And it's been the honor of my life to serve all of our communities as the elected sheriff.
All right, well, thank you very much, Sheriff Stan Schniff, Riverside County Sheriff Coroner. We're going to get back to DJ Vega playing the music. I'm Fred Plumley. This is your music team. CNBC 2017 California Law Enforcement Event and Going Away Party for DJ Paranoids. DJ Vega live in the mix. All right, DJ Vega live in the mix, showing us why he's resident at Avalon Hollywood, one of the top 50 nightclubs in the world. All right, special dedication going out to Alicia from Rudy Gomez, Riverside, California. Having a good time. DJ Vega live and in the mix.
Take all your things, you go and run and hide. Do you remember how it felt when we were young? Do you remember how it felt when we were young? Today we have the chance to feel again, to hear the sounds that brought us in, to laugh, to cry, to live again. Today we have the chance to feel again, to hear the sounds that brought us in, to laugh, to cry, to live again, like when we were young.
9:54 Pacific time. Want to thank our great sponsor for 5.5 years, Circle K. 60 years is your neighbors in the United States. Circle K with all kinds of great snacks, great drinks, premium gasoline with 10,000 locations all over the world. Thank you very much, Circle K. www.circlek.com. I'm Fred Plumley, your music team. Proud to have listeners and supporters in over 175 countries worldwide. DJ Vega live in the mix. 9:58. Shout out to my good friend, Commissioner James Baker, City of Moreno Valley, out there watching. Glad you're enjoying the show. Lots of people out there checking it out.
Many days fell away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Great clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? But if you close your eyes, we were caught up and lost in all of our vices. In your poses, the sun dazzled around us, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Great clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like no?
Good evening. You're listening to 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. KCAA, Loma Linda, San Bernardino, Riverside, Moreno Valley, serving all of Southern California and the world at www.kcaaradio.com. This is your music team 2017 California Law Enforcement event and going away party for DJ Paranoise. I'm Fred Plumley. Tonight we're featuring DJ Vega live in the mix. DJ Paranoise. And our special guest tonight is Sheriff Stan Schniff, Riverside County Sheriff Coroner. We're going to be talking to him in just a couple minutes. 10:01 Pacific time right here in North America.
I'm gonna tell you about this thing called house music. Like my boy Eddie told you, it's a spiritual thing. Yes, it is. But I'm here to tell you more of what house music means to me. House music is a healer when you don't feel good inside. House music is something that picks you up when you're feeling down. Yes, it is. And can't nobody steal your joy on the dance floor once the music takes over here. Listen, children. And can't nobody. It's all about house music. It's all about house music. It's house music. It's all about house music. It's all about house music. Listen, children, I'm going to tell you about this thing called house music. Like my boy Eddie told you, it's a spiritual thing. Yes, it is. But I'm here to tell you more of what house music means to me. House music is a healer when you don't feel good inside. House music is something that picks you up when you're feeling down. Yes, it is. And can't nobody steal your joy on the dance floor once the music takes over here. Listen, children. And can't nobody.
Just y'all the one and only killer.
10:05 Pacific time. Your music team. I'm Fred Plumley. 2017 California Law Enforcement event at Going Away Party for DJ Paranoise. Our special guest tonight is Sheriff Stan Schnipp, Riverside County Sheriff Coroner. I'm sorry. And it is hot in here, but how you doing tonight, Stan?
I'm doing great.
All right. We were talking about a lot of things, and you have an incredible department. But one of the things that interests me and a lot of the citizens out there is concealed weapons permits.
Ah, yes. What interests you most, Fred?
Well, I'm a gun enthusiast and done a lot of shooting. And
That's good for you. I'm proud of you. I hope you support all the Second Amendment stuff, not only the NRA, but some of the other groups that help defend, because it's a difficult time in California right now for anybody that's a gun owner.
No, definitely do. And anyway, how does someone go about getting a concealed weapons permit?
Well, as you probably already know, in California, the law requires either a police chief if you're a resident of that city, or the sheriff if you're a resident of the county. So the city residents can either go to their police department or go directly to the sheriff's office, but either the sheriff or the police chief has the authority in California to issue, according to the California statutes, carry concealed weapons permit. And just so your listeners understand, you don't need a permit to own a long gun or a handgun, but you can certainly carry one concealed and loaded in your business if your employer approves it, and certainly on your own property in your own home. The trick becomes when you go out into the public way, on the streets, to the market, to sporting events. You have to have a carry concealed weapons permit, otherwise it has to be unloaded. The handgun has to be unloaded and locked in the trunk. So the CCW process is pretty straightforward. Every county and city varies. In Riverside County, we end up doing probably 95% of them, because most of the city police chiefs will not issue at this point in time. You can download the application. If you're a resident of Riverside County, you can download the application from our website, riversidesheriff.org, and fill it out, and then you call and make an appointment. It's pretty straightforward, but we do, since December 2nd, 2015, at the terrorist incident here in San Bernardino, we have been heavily backlogged. So it takes a little bit of effort and time, but we do approve those at a very high rate, and we encourage people. Everywhere I go, I encourage people to end up applying. Tough times right now with lots of crime issues and a lot of fear out there, so we do approve. Many communities do not approve CCWs, and many counties don't. But here in Riverside County, and certainly in San Bernardino County, we do.
Well, outstanding. So they go to the website and fill it out, and then get it back to your department. Now, I would assume a lot of us in Riverside County, like I live in Moreno Valley, so it would go to you anyway, right?
Correct. That's one of our contract partners. But even if you live in the city of Riverside, you can directly apply with the Sheriff's Department. Once you fill out the application, there's a couple other parts that our folks will steer you toward. You have to go through training. You do have to have a handgun, and it has to be registered by that serial number on the license. But it's a pretty straightforward process. It does require us to do a background and make a decision, and we do encourage good members of the community to do that. We don't approve it for every single individual. It is not a Second Amendment right pursuant to California statutes, but we make every effort because we're kind of a rural area, to just like San Bernardino does, to end up issuing as many as we can.
Well, you know, that's really commendable. I know there's a lot of people that don't like to issue any at all, so it sounds like you are in the position to encourage people to defend themselves.
Well, I grew up in the Kcaa Valley, out there in Palm Springs. For your listeners, if they're not familiar with where the Kcaa Valley, but that's our eastern area of Riverside County, very rural. So, like many of the folks of my generation, I learned to shoot a .22 rifle out in our ranches. My parents were in the Dayton citrus pioneers out there in the Dayton citrus industry out near Indio. So I shot a lot. I've been around firearms all my life. It does take, I think your listeners understand that it does take a great deal of responsibility and training for anybody that owns any type of firearm, whether it's a CCW or not. And so inherently there's a lot of work to be done on training and understanding that they can be potentially very lethal. And it's important to safeguard those things, secure them particularly from young people, but also to pursue and take training in their safe use.
Well, you actually offered the training, right? At I think it's the Clark Center. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do a variety of training programs there for not only the CCW, but you can see on our website. There's a couple other sites out in the desert and certainly in southwest Riverside County and here in western Riverside County. But you can undergo the CCW training at the Ben Clark Training Center, scheduled by our folks. But the bigger issue I think that you're pointing to is that we work very closely with the NRA, and they produce once a quarter, they do a training program for women, as we're finding more and more women are interested in firearms these days, and also carry concealed weapons permits. So we work with them. And then for my deputies, because of the changing laws, we actually do a lot of firearms training with the family members of our sworn deputies, particularly on safe storage, because there's a lot of laws now that impact letting kids have access in your home to firearms, where decades ago that didn't exist. So a lot of liability inherent in firearms these days.
Very good information, Sheriff. And I'm looking at your website, and I've looked at it the last couple days. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a great department, and I'm very proud to serve as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer for Riverside County. And it's been the honor of my life over the last 10 years, when I was first appointed and then stood election in 2010 and in 2014 and won pretty handily. It's a lot of work these days. I think everybody that's part of California knows that it's a tough time right now. I've mentioned before the national discourse on policing, where some agencies and officers have gotten into trouble. Unfortunately, that paints everybody with a brush that's somewhat unfair, as DJ Vega indicated, because we take a lot of great pride in vetting our personnel very closely and holding them accountable and being very transparent to the public on that. But it's a tough time right now with the increased number of attacks that we've seen on law enforcement officers, not only across the nation, but here in California as well. So it does take a great deal of courage for young men and women that are bright and want to go out and serve their communities to put that shiny badge on their chest. But for the safety of every one of our residents in the Inland Empire, it's darn important that we do have those young men and women that want to step to the plate, and even at risk to their lives, to end up protecting their communities.
Well, you know, it's outstanding, and I want to mention, of course, I live in Riverside County in Moreno Valley. You have an incredible department, and really commend you on everything that you're doing. Definitely look forward to having you back on the show when we move to a new studio.
Great, I appreciate that. And you've already assured me that it's going to have just outstanding air conditioning in it, too, so we won't have to end up losing a lot of weight the hard way.
Well, it is rather warm because the air conditioning is off, but really thank you for being understanding. We're just waiting here for DJ Paranoise to set up, and this is probably going to be, one of her last times on the show. So let's see. While we're waiting here as well, what would you like to share? You've shared a lot of great information, really great, Stan, but anything else you'd like to reiterate to all the listeners and viewers?
Well, it's just an important time in our nation's history, and particularly here within California, to end up understanding how important, really critically important it is for all of. I work side by side with 11 great city police chiefs here in Riverside County, the sheriff's office, the California Highway Patrol, and the other state agencies. I just came back a couple weeks ago from a training session with the FBI back in Washington, D.C., where we had agency heads from the biggest agencies from all over the world collected there for another week worth of training and sharing information. It is absolutely critical that all of us work closely together, and so that's why you see our agencies frequently with teams and task forces, because we work hand in glove with our federal partners, certainly the state law enforcement, and then at city and sheriff's offices locally. It's very, very critical that we continue that effort. Law enforcement, it gets very, very expensive, and we leverage a lot of those costs and reduce our vulnerabilities on the public safety net by working closely together. This is not a day and age where we need to be parochial and only worry about our own area. The crooks that all of us fear basically don't respect any boundaries, and so that regional approach is just so important, and yet it's very hard to do in many of the communities because of the costs.
All right, sounds really great. Sheriff, I think we're going to get back to the music, but do you have any parting words?
No,
Go ahead.
Just everybody be safe out there, and if you see something, then make sure that that old line that you say something is very, very critical. The more eyes out there that help us, the better, because otherwise we're blind.
All right, thank you very much, Sheriff Stan Schniff, Sheriff Coroner, Riverside County Sheriff's Department, second largest sheriff's department in the state of California. DJ Paranoid's live in the mix. You mind if we take a couple of visitors? All right, what a great night. And great job, DJ Vega.
Thank you so much, Fred. What's up, you guys? Thank you guys for tuning in right now, you guys. We got Paranoids in the mix right now. I got my boy in the house, Diffuse One, and obviously Fred hosting the night. Let's go.
Yeah, by the way, this is a going away party for DJ Paranoids. And she's done an incredible job as co-host. Thank you very much, Paranoids.
I love this city.
1022, your music team, CNBC. DJ Paranoid's live in the mix.
Put your hands up for Detroit.
Real quick, you guys, I want to give a couple shout outs. Huge shout outs to store 1782 Best Buy. Thank you guys so much for the love. Always taking care of me in every single situation. Much love. Okay, Paranoid's making it get funky in the house. Let's go.
.24 Pacific time. DJ Paranoid's live and in the mix. What an exciting night. By the way, let's talk about DJ Paranoise. DJ Paranoise, one of the top DJs in California, performs at many premier nightclubs and events like Edo C, Sutra, the Yost, King, Space Taco, Slam Dunk Sports Bar, LA Underground Events, Metro Ale House, 10 Nightclub, Menagerie, and many others. DJ Paranoise live and in the mix. Your music team, CNBC, proud to have been awarded #1 radio show in North America by International Dance Music Magazine. Definitely not amateur hour. Wow. By the way, congratulations, Vega. Love your music.
You know, thank you, Fred. Hey, yo, honestly, my phone's blowing up right now. Much love to everybody guys tuning in. I got my boy Peter tuning in. I got MC tuning in. We got Arden tuning in. You know, honestly, just everybody tuning in right now, you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love.
Yeah, what a night. And great guests, of course, with Sheriff Stan Sniff, Sheriff of Riverside County, second largest sheriff's department in the state of California. Incredible. All right, 10:27. You know, Paranoid's rocking the house. Vega, you were rocking the house. And I feel like going to the Shark Club in Moreno Valley. Something great is always happening at the Shark Nightclub at the corner of Paris and Sunnymead Boulevard, Moreno Valley, California. All kinds of excitement every night of the week. We'll be out there immediately after the show. But Paranoise is rocking. What do you think?
No, without a doubt, she's dropping the mic right now, you guys. For a farewell, she's dropping the mic. Let's go. So literally the summer just kicked off, you guys. Hit us up on our line right now, you guys. Make sure you guys send us a text message. What do you guys think? What do you guys want? This is your music team, you guys. Throw some requests, give us some love. 909-353-1050. Kcaa, you guys. Let's go.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
All right, DJ Paranoid's rocking the house. Loving it tonight. Man, she's making a statement tonight. You know, I'm really sorry that Paranoids is leaving us. You know, I don't really cry because I'm a man, but I'm sorry. I'm really sad that she's leaving.
She is leaving, but she's doing it for good reasons. And honestly, I wish her the best of luck in her growth and whatever she wants to do next. She's an awesome, more than talented person, and like I said, the best of luck to you.
Oh, I agree, and you know, she and her husband are going on to a great career, so congratulations. But Paranoids is really going to show something tonight. All right. All right, let's talk about something else. Next Thursday, we will be out at Market Night, and it's going to be exciting. About 10,000 people out there. But what's even more exciting, we're going to have a big party featuring DJ Axon and DJ Hazardy live in the mix. I will be out there emceeing. We're going to have about 6 or 7 U.S. Army recruiters out there, too. Going to be exciting, an incredible night. Redlands Market Night next Thursday. Your music team live and in the house featuring DJ Axon and DJ Hazardy.
Yo, real quick, you guys, big shout out to my sponsors, Project Hope Duarte, Infinity Supply Co., Dinero Supply, you guys. Much love, you guys. So I just got a big, huge, funny text message. They said, what is up for the summer? This summer, you guys, make sure you guys tune in. I got a several good amount of shows for you guys. And the entire month, you guys do not want to miss. And you know what I'm talking about if you know me.
All right, DJ Paranoid's rocking the house. Want to thank our principal sponsor, the U.S. Army. The United States Army is a key component of the U.S. Armed Forces, made up of the best trained, most dedicated, most respected soldiers in the world, protecting America's freedoms at home and abroad, securing our homeland and defending democracy worldwide. With expert training, one of over 150 different jobs for soldiers on active duty and over 120 in the Army Reserve, there's no limit to the opportunities in the Army. From the arts to the sciences, intelligence to combat, computers to helicopters, engineering to law, there's no limit to what you can learn and achieve. The U.S. Army, www.goarmy.com.
Let me see you shake it.
All right, big, you have any shout-outs, dedications? You know, you've got a lot of listeners out there checking out the show. A lot of viewers. DJ Paranoid's live in the mix.
Yo, hey, this was a special one. A big special shout out to the person who gave me this hat. Much love to you.
All right, shout out to a young lady named Candy Nieves. I think she's going to be at the Shark nightclub tonight. Looking forward to it. Pretty young lady. Yes. Anyway, having a great time tonight. As always, the music team. Man, impressive, DJ Paranoids. You know, I'm thinking, what are we going to do without her on the show? It's going to be a little bit difficult, I think. But I'm sure we'll do it. All right, thanks to our engineer, Mr. Joe Pagano. Thank you very much. You know, Vega Paranoid is killing it. Wow.
Honestly, having to hear her like this, it's definitely going to be something we're going to miss here. And she's always bringing these hard, intense, like it's honestly just nothing but activities. Like, shout out to Paranoid, you guys. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. Rocking the house. Going away party as well for Paranoid. You know, it's sad, but she's going to have a great time. So, and I want to thank DJ Paranoid for being a great co-host as well. Thank you so much. All right, so Don Fernando checking in, top DJ, VA Sundance in Dubai. Great DJ, thank you very much for your support. Lots of people checking in tonight. And kind of difficult, you know, our AC isn't working in the studio, so it is hot, but it's also the music too. With Fake and Paranoid, you know, it is hot in here too. Well, what a fitting song. If you listen to the lyrics, all right, our own DJ Axon checking in. How you doing, Axon?
Doing great, Fred. Can't wait to be back next week.
Yeah, that's right. You are going to be here next week in the mix. And what an exciting time.
Yeah, it's been since April since I've been back on the show, and I cannot wait.
Yo, what's up, Axon? Good hearing from you, man. Thank you for calling into the station, man. Super excited to have you here next week. Yo, it definitely has been a while, but I know you're bringing in some fire.
Yo, maybe not as much fire that you play tonight, Vega.
Stop it.
Hey, Vega and I go way back. He's been a brother from another mother.
And honestly, man, me and you, we've been through some stuff. Honestly, the amount of venues we've been through, from LA to Pomona, obviously now onto this awesome station and on this amazing team. Hey, Axon, what do you say we tell the viewers what we literally just started as of this past week, and obviously the new position you guys offered me?
Yeah, we just brought Vega on as a leader. I mean, he's earned it. Every time he comes on the show, he's proved why he's Vega. I mean, he's like the next Deadman. And you bring a lot to the table, Vega, and you've done a lot and you've proven a lot.
Yeah, congratulations, DJ Vega. Very happy to have you as a leader on the team, and just incredible work. So look forward to having you back again soon. And of course, Axon's going to be here this coming Sunday.
Again, I'll be back this Sunday with Panda. It's going to be a really awesome show, and I'll be doing a tour while I'm back in California, playing at Avalon, Sharky's, and then I'll be out at Market Night July the 6th. I'll be at Market Night July the 6th. Then I'll be playing at Status in Riverside. Then my last live show of my tour will be at Space Springs in Pomona. But I'll be out for 2 weeks in a row, and I got nothing but new music for everyone.
Yo, man, congrats on that. It's honestly, bro, good to hear a lot of the things you're working on, man. And obviously, when you come out to California, I know you just bring parties, so super looking forward to it.
Yeah,
of course.
Very good. Let's hear a little bit about Paranoid. This is her going away party, and I also want to listen to her mixes, which are outstanding.
Yeah, we're gonna miss Paranoid. I really am gonna miss her. She's done such an outstanding job as co-host. It's sad to see her leave. But she's doing something very, very honorable with her husband, DJ Bass Junk, and hey, it's the Army life.
All right, sounds great. Let's listen to this mix. DJ Paranoid's live in the mix, and this is her going away party, and also the 2017 California Law Enforcement event featuring special guest Sheriff Stan Sniff, Riverside County Sheriff Coroner.
Yeah, thank you, Fred, and we'll see you next week. And I'd like to thank Sheriff Stan Smith for being able to come to the show. I really appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. All right, Ken Barnes checking in from Temecula. Said he likes our picture. Thank you very much. What an exciting night. DJ Paranoid's live in the mix.
Big shout out to my friend D'Amber. Happy birthday. You're finally going to turn 21 so you can party with the big dog. Let's go.
$10:52 Pacific time, and very happy to have you here tonight, DJ Vega.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fred. Just to let you guys know, I will be back here next month, July 9th, and I hope you guys are ready, because on that official day, I will be telling you guys something that I really want to tell you today, but I can't. I hope you guys are ready. There's a lot of new things I'm working on right now. We're restructuring, we're rebranding. Again, shout out to my sponsors, shout out to all my friends, my family, which matter the entire world to me. My best friends Johnny and Walter, you guys are the everything, man. You guys are the backbone to a lot of the stuff I work on. We literally just killed Hollywood 3 days ago in front of 2,000 people for Playboy Cardi, Young Thug, and Lil Uzi Vert. It was mad lit. Let's go.
All right, so you've got a really big announcement, huh?
Yeah, without a doubt. It's super huge, and honestly, the station's definitely in it, and I hope you guys are ready, because we're about to level up. That's literally the way it is. We're about to level up, and I hope you guys are ready. The rebranding is just going to be insane. The amounts of merch that you guys are going to see out there, and obviously, it's not possible without support. So big shout out and much love to you guys.
All right, sounds good. So you're going to let us know when you're back. All this is going to be quite an important event, huh?
July 9th. I know the July 4th is when everybody draws fireworks, but July 9th is when I'm going to bring mine.
Yeah, and also you're with DJ Axon, so it's going to be like screaming.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back. There's gonna be too much energy here. We're gonna have to carry it on for days on days.
Well, you know who's got a lot of energy is Paranoid. Man, incredible job.
Yo, from Paranoid to you guys, big, huge shout out to Edgar. Yo, this girl loves you just as much as she loves music. Shout out to the 128 Mafia crew and to the Space Taco crew. Much love to you guys. PS, Space Taco, Space Friends, I hope you guys are ready. I am super excited to be working on you guys this summer. Let's go.
All right, also wanted to mention my good friend Commissioner James Baker is out there along with thousands of other people, but he wanted to say hello to Paranoid and wish her well. So really good. And everybody's wishing you well. Also a young lady named Glennis Silman. You know, she's quite a young lady. I met her at the Shark Club, and she's the one we said was the firecracker. So she really likes Paranoid. So also said great show. Also want to mention our great sponsor, the Shark Nightclub in Moreno Valley, corner of Paris and Sunnymead in Moreno Valley, California, where the action is every night of the week. Tonight it's featuring a great DJ Double Time. But every night of the week, something's happening at the Shark Club in Moreno Valley off the 60 freeway, Paris Boulevard, corner of Paris and Sunnymead. The Shark Nightclub will be out there immediately after this show.
Yo, lots of shout outs, you guys. Big, huge shout out to Marcy. Marcy tuning in all the way from New Mexico. We got my boy Donald. Oh man, this is good. We got my friend Angie. We got Angel. We got my cousin Javi, who sent me a text earlier. He said, yo, kill the show. And honestly, thank you guys for the love.
Bruh.
10:58 Pacific time here in North America. Any last words, Vega?
Outside of a big thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight to today's show. Honestly, again, support is the key word to the thing I do. Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right, well, thank you very much for being here, DJ Vega. Want to thank especially DJ Paranoise. Doing an incredible job tonight, but has been an incredible co-host. And I just want to thank DJ Paranoise. Wish her well in her new endeavors with her husband, DJ Bass Chunk. I know you'll be successful. Take care. And also want to thank our incredible guest, Riverside County Sheriff Stan Schniv, Riverside County Sheriff and Coroner, and want to thank all our listeners and supporters. Take care. Have a good evening. At your music team is a Fred Plumley production. Good night, everyone. We'll see you back here next week featuring DJ Axon and DJ Pandemonium.
KCAA Law.